right, guys, we are back. Episode 3, teaching you guys how to wholesale real estate and how to close your first deal by the end of 2025. Clearly, you guys are enjoying this series so far. Episode 1 and 2 are already out, so if you haven't seen those yet, go check those out. You guys need to start in episode 1 and then make your way to this video, because this video is going to be a direct follow-up with episode 2. And I've been getting a lot of positive reviews, a lot of DMs on Instagram from you guys telling me this series is helping you out, and a lot of you guys wanting to get started and actually start taking this business serious. So that is great. And like I've said in the last episodes, this is going to make the old heads of the real estate industry a little mad, because I'm actively exposing how you guys can get into real estate using wholesale real estate that doesn't require any licensing, doesn't require a degree, college, school, a bunch of capital up front, to be a specific age, to be in a specific market. You guys can do this from anywhere, at any age, with a little bit of money to start. And yeah, so we're gonna get into this episode, guys. Like I said, it's gonna be a direct follow-up of episode 2. In episode 2, we went over the acquisitions call, how to master that, and how to turn that into something that actually puts money in your pocket. And then now in this episode, we're gonna be going over underwriting and the offer call. So in the last episode, like I said, episode 2, we went over how to figure out the condition of the property, how to talk to a seller, how to do all of those things. And now we're gonna go over, once you figured all of that out, you've had the conversation with the seller, you figured all of that stuff out, we're gonna go over how you're gonna underwrite those properties and figure out how much you can offer for them, and then how to schedule an offer call with the seller, present your offer, and get them to sign that contract, which is a purchase to sale agreement. So guys, we're gonna go over that today, and let's get right into it. So first off, guys, we're gonna go into underwriting, and then after that, I'm gonna go over how you guys are gonna wanna make your offer calls. So as far as underwriting, guys, this is very, very important. Like I said, in the acquisitions call in the last episode, you guys want to take detailed notes. You want to know the exact condition of this property, all of that, because that'll make the underwriting process a lot easier, because you guys need to know your repair costs really well, because that's how you're going to be able to know how much you're going to offer for a property. But let's get into underwriting right now, and I'm going to show you guys an example of an underwriting deal that one of my students closed that they made a lot of money off of. So let's get into that right now. Let's hop on the computer and show you guys how to underwrite a deal and how to figure out how much you can offer for a deal. All right, guys, we're on the computer now. As you can see, we have Zillow right in front of us. So right here, this is going to be the property that we were doing underwriting for. So let's say, for example, the acquisitions call that you have, like we went over in the last video, this is the property that you did that entire acquisitions call over. So treat this like this is your property, and I'm gonna go over exactly what we need to do. So we just talked to a seller, we found out everything about the property, we know what type of shape it's in, all of that, blah, blah, blah. And then now we are pulling up the property on Zillow. So this is what you're gonna wanna do, okay? You're gonna wanna pull up the property on 2 different tabs. So right here, one tab, other tab. On the first tab, we're gonna scroll down to where we have the map right here. You guys can see it says Stanton, and then the property is located right here on the map. And then right here, we're gonna go out of this. So click on the left side. And now we're gonna go to right here on the map where it shows all the properties sold. You wanna go right here to not for sale. You wanna go to sold properties. So it's gonna show you this. You guys are gonna switch it to sold, click apply. And then this property is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet. So we're gonna go right here, 3 beds, use exact match. Bathrooms, just leave it like that. And then, like I said, 2,000 square feet. And then we're gonna zoom in. So like I said, it shows it right here in Stanton. There's a river right there, some grass, Westfield. So we have Stanton, river, grass, Westfield, and then the property is right there. So we're gonna use this area right here. We never wanna cross any major roads. So we're not gonna look at anything past here, and we're not gonna look at anything past here. We're gonna look at a specific area right here. So we're gonna go down to here, scroll to the bottom under the More tab, and we're gonna go to sold in the last 6 months. The more recent sales you guys can look at is gonna be more accurate for what the ARV of this property is gonna be. If you guys don't know what ARV is, that is after repair value. Super popular term in wholesaling, guys, and pretty much what that stands for is that is how much you can sell the property for after you've repaired it. So if you give this property under contract, obviously you're gonna flip the contract to an investor, which is just basic wholesaling, and the investor is gonna fix the property up and then sell it for that ARV price. So every investor wants to know the ARV. That's exactly what everybody's looking for. ARV, after repair value, don't forget that. Like I said, guys, we're gonna go through here and look at all these yellow boxes, and we're gonna look for properties that are similar to our subject property that have sold within the last 6 months. If you can't find any that have sold within the last 6 months, you can change this to a year or 24 months. But you kind of want to keep it close, so start with 6 months and then slowly work your way up if you can't find anything. So right here, like I said, our subject property is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet. This one right here, which is a pretty good comp, so we're gonna pull that up. This is a 3-2, 1,700 square feet. As you guys can see, very nice property. I mean, it's not like anything crazy, just like kind of grandma condition, but this is one that just sold for $320,000. And then we have another property right here that sold for $410,000. This is right next to our subject property. So this one sold for $410,000, sold pretty recently, last month. It's a 3-2, 1,800 square feet. So very similar, only like 180 square foot difference. And as you guys can see, Pretty nice. I mean, dude, like brand new wood floors, very nice property right here. So this one is another one that sold for ARV standard in the area. And then our final comp in the area right here, guys, $345,000. Obviously, this one's about 500 square feet smaller. So this one is $1,472, right next to our subject property. And then this one's pretty good condition as well. So after going through here and looking at the comps, as you guys can see, we have 3 properties right here that are all considered comps that I have listed. So we're gonna go to this one right here. Obviously, this one's a little bit smaller, and this one sold for $320,000. This one is a pretty good amount smaller, about 25% smaller than our property, $345,000. And then we have this one right here, which is barely smaller than our property, very nice condition, that sold for $410,000. But another thing we need to put into consideration is, guys, right here, this one is smaller and it is a 1-story. Our property is a 2-story, and like I said, over 25% bigger than that one, 2,000 square feet. This one's $1,472. And then this one right here that sold for $320,000, guys. Like I said, this one's not in the best condition. This one's not really like a full ARV property, not fully renovated, as well as it's a little bit smaller. So this is why this one went for $320,000. That's pretty low. This one right here is probably our best comp, $410,000, similar square footage, 2-story, looks just like the subject property, just a little bit different of a garage setup. And it sold for $410,000. So guys, with that being said, and going over all these properties, obviously we're not gonna fall down in the $320,000 range because this one is not in the best condition. And obviously this one is at $410,000. And that's pretty high. Obviously, this is the only one that is sold in that area for that high of a price. So we're gonna conservatively put ARV at $375,000 because obviously a flipper is gonna make it look way nicer in this property that sold for $320,000, as well as they'll make it look nicer in this one, and it is a lot bigger than this one, as well as is a 2-story, and this one's a 1-story. So we're gonna put ARV conservatively at $375,000 between this one that sold for $410,000 and this one that sold for $345,000. And that's how we found the ARV for this property at $375,000. And now that we have established that ARV is $375,000, we are now going to go into how we figure out how much we're going to offer the seller for the property. And guys, with that, we're going to do a very basic equation. So let me get into that now and show you guys that. All right, guys, I just moved my camera so you can see this better. So now that we have the ARV at $375,000, we're going to take $375,000 times 0.7, which is 70% of that. And that is going to give us $262,500. And then guys, once you have now taken the ARV and multiplied that by 0.7, we're now gonna subtract what type of repairs the property needs. So obviously in the last video, we went over the acquisitions call. On that acquisitions call, you guys are gonna figure out the full condition of the property, and that's why it's very important right here. So this is where you're gonna then put in what type of repairs your property needs and how much money it needs in repair cost. Our subject property really just needs cosmetics. Everything else is in pretty good shape. So we're just gonna put a rough $30,000 for repairs on this property. So we're gonna take $262,000 minus $30,000, and that is going to give us $232,500. And now guys, now that we have this number, which is from our ARV times 0.7, subtract the repairs, gives us $232,500. We're now going to subtract off a minimum of a $10,000 assignment off of that number. So that'll be the amount that we take home, the assignment fee. So we're gonna take off $10,000, and that is going to give us $222,500, and that is going to be the MAO for this property. And guys, what MAO is that's the maximum allowable offer. So when we call up the home seller, we're not going to want to offer anything more than $222,500. It's going to be our max. But of course, guys, like any other business, we don't want to offer our max right away. So let's get into how we're going to do the offer call now that we know the ARV and now that we know our maximum allowable offer. All right, guys, so now we have our MAO, which was $222,500. So now, after, like I said in the last video, you guys are going to schedule a offer call after your acquisitions call. So you're going to be like, hey, I'm gonna go back to my underwriting team. We're gonna figure out what we can offer him this property. Is it cool if I give you a call back around 6 p.m.? So now let's say 6 p.m. rolls around. You are going to give them a call back. And guys, the most important thing about your offer call is you wanna be super confident in your offer. You don't wanna call them up and be nervous and be scared to give your offer. You wanna be super confident and you wanna kind of walk them through where you got that offer from. So like I said, $222,500 is our maximum allowable offer. Guys, we want to open up at something more like $200,000, $215,000, $210,000. We want to open up lower than our maximum allowable offer, so then we have room to go up and room to negotiate. So very basically, guys, like I said, maximum allowable offer, $222,500. We're gonna call them and we're gonna open up this offer call. Depending on how lenient the seller is and how much they want for the property, we're either gonna open up at like $200,000 or we're gonna open up like $210,000. So for example, how this would go is, let's say 6 p.m. rolls around, it's time for us to call up and give our offer. I'm gonna call up the seller, they're gonna say hello, I'm gonna say hello, and I'm gonna say, all right, so I got with my team, we went through the property, figured out how much we can offer, we're gonna be coming in at around $210,000. How does that sound to you? And then from there, they're either going to accept your offer or they're gonna obviously want a little more, and then you can slowly negotiate and be like, okay, let me get back with my team. And if you have to get back with your team, you wanna do something like this, okay? Let's say they say, okay, we need 230. You'll be like, all right, I'm pretty sure we're right around 210. We might be able to make this work. Let me go on hold real quick, talk to my guys and see if we can go up in the price at all. You want to make it sound like you're talking to your team throughout this entire transaction to make you seem more legitimate. For example, go on hold for a few minutes. You just offered her 210. She wants 230. Go on hold. Be like, all right, I just talked to my team. We really want to make this deal work. Is there any way you can do $215,000? I don't think we can go any higher than that. We have a lot of stuff that we have to do to this property to get it to where we need to get it to make money on it. Would you be able to do $215,000? And then just keep that process going until you get to your maximum allowable offer. And then let's say that they accept your offer, guys. Then what you are going to want to do that we love to preach to our clients and people that work with us is you want to do a live signing call. You want to set up a live signing call once they accept your offer. And this is where you're going to get the purchase sale agreement, the contract, and you're going to get them on a phone call, send them the contract, and then walk them through the contract and get them to sign that contract live on a call with you. This eliminates a lot of room for error for them to not sign the contract, not get around to it, never hit you back. You want to get this done live on the call so you have a higher likelihood of getting that contract signed and getting that property under contract. And guys, that's exactly how you want to do it. So if you use episode 1, episode 2, and now this episode 3, and you actually lock in and then use what I'm going to teach you guys in the next episode, episode 4, which is marketing, which is how you guys are actually going to find these deals, you guys are going to start closing deals. You're going to make a lot of money before the end of this year. And guys, like I always say, if you want to just fully go past this entire series and just work with me and Dylan directly and have us build your wholesale business for you, do all of this stuff for you, and then teach you one-to-one along the way, where we guarantee you to close a wholesale deal in under 90 days, which is insane, guys, because that's on average $15,000 to $20,000. And we've done it for a lot of other people. I'm pretty sure Dylan just dropped a case study of a video of some of our clients where we literally went on an entire case study and explained how we helped them close their first deal and make $10,000 in a single month. So if you guys want to be like that, there's a link down below to apply and start working with us and join the Contract Flips Inner Circle. So if you guys want to be a part of that, there's a link down below. Check that out, as well as a link down below for my new Instagram. And if you guys have any questions you just want me to answer, like I said, my new Instagram is down below. I'm going to start using that more. So DM me on there, ask me any questions. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in episode 4. Peace out.